be still and lay aside all thoughts of what you are, what the world is, what God is. Empty your mind of everything you think is true or false, good or bad, worthy or unworthy. Hold on to nothing. No need to cling to anything you learned before. Just be here, undefended in the now. Just come with wholly empty hands unto God. Perhaps just now, in the chant, in the words I've just spoken, in the quality that maybe you felt in the space in between the words, you tasted something experientially that is ever present and yet beyond really that which can be put into any kind of concept or frame or word. Rumi says, something opens our wings. Something makes hurt and boredom disappear. Someone fills the cup in front of us. I call this something grace. The direct experience of that which is the source of everything, the substance of everything, that which is animating it all, and that which is living and breathing us in this and in every moment. In these times of great change and uncertainty in our world, this is very important to stay close to. All the things the great mystics of all the traditions have been saying to us, such as that this is a world of impermanence, that we are not ultimately in control, that we need the love and the care of one another, and that there is grace to help us along the way with it all, is primary and important if we are to live meaningfully and well, if we are to stay calm amidst the chaos, and if we are to embody our highest potential as human beings, to be that which we are, live from our spiritual depth with wisdom, with kindness, in every moment of our lives, even into physical death. All this is possible through grace. And what I've discovered in my own journey and exploration into grace is that there's much more dimension to it than we typically realize. Most of us think of grace as a beautiful state that fills our heart, and indeed it does. But grace is also the universal foundation of everything, that which is causing all of us to draw breath, that which is bringing forth the profound intricacies of nature, that which is causing our heart to beat, as well as the spiritual nourishment that comes when we feel that loving presence that is with us, guiding us, helping us, trying to nourish and heal us, as much as it is also the mysterious power that dances with our efforts in our spiritual practice, that transforms our suffering into wisdom. And it is what we become, more graceful human beings, pillars of light, embodiments of wisdom. So there's grace that is with us always in the entirety of our spiritual path and in what we're dealing with right now as individuals, in our personal sphere, and also as a country, as a human family in unprecedented times. So the mystics spoke of grace as a subtle substance that is palpable. In the Buddhist and Hindu understanding, grace is spoken of as Amrita, a life-giving, exquisite, bliss-filled nectar that fills us from within and awakens us to the direct, palpable, experiential knowing that whatever is going on, even when difficult things are here, even when we may be at the bedside of a loved one, having to allow that process of letting go, that there is still this subtle substance that nourishes and sustains our soul and helps us to let go into the mystery, to let go of everything. Because, friends, if it isn't already obvious to you, full surrender isn't optional, is it? It isn't optional. And that's the ticket price for grace, for experiencing this Amrita, this life-giving nectar. Many of the great mystics across all the traditions spoke of grace in terms of some kind of substance that is hydrating. Jesus turned the water, a seemingly ordinary substance, into wine, which of course changes our consciousness, which we like often, right? But it's really the living water that truly quenches our thirst in a way that more stuff of the world never quite can. It's really only the tasting, the allowing the presence, the loving presence, the affirmation we did was an actual practice taken from my grace deck. And the full practice is of letting the loving presence penetrate and permeate every nook and cranny of your life. And that is the terrain of the second dimension of grace that is about blessings. It's about learning to receive the blessings. I'm sure you've already had moments of this. Consider the moments in your life where somehow it has penetrated you more deeply, the profound sacred nature of life. We often come into more intimate experience of this grace that has known us and loved us and accompanied us all the days of our life. In these moments, perhaps if you've had the privilege of being in the dying process with someone you love, where all the crapola drops away, is just not important, where the only thing that is real is gratitude for the entirety, including the mess and the challenge and the imperfection and the ways we may have stumbled in ignorance, and that inevitably will have played itself out in our important relationships. And yet in those moments where so much is falling away and someone is in the process of transition, and you know this may be the last moment with them in this life, isn't the only thing that matters is, I love you and thank you. What a gift. What a privilege it has been. That is us feeling the truth of the blessings of grace, that no matter what's happening, we are being profoundly gifted with opportunities to love and see and learn and evolve, stumble and learn, see what's true, what's not true, let go of the hurts, the history, the misunderstanding, our own ignorance, the impacts of the influence and the stumblings of others upon our soul. Or maybe you've had the privilege of being at the birth of someone. Either you've given birth, or you've been there when someone's giving birth, and you feel the immense power, the immense power of reality with a capital R, bringing a new soul into this earth from nothing, making two people find one another very sexy and interesting. And somehow, somehow, someone comes into being in a fresh new way. And the force of that moves through our human body, and it's bigger than anything we think about whatever. And we hold that newborn baby in our arms, and the natural response is, oh my God, oh my God, wow. In these moments we are awake. We're awake to the truth and the profound nature of reality, and the fact that it is such a profound blessing to be here, even though we might have stuff going in our bodies that isn't easy, even though we may be feeling all sorts of feelings about the results of the election. We may have concerns, we may have fears that may need to be addressed and explored honestly, and even still, here we are. The great Hindu sage Ramana Maharshi, he said, grace is always present. Isn't that good news? But if you're not present, you don't feel that. So that's a very big key that's very simple. But being present isn't just, oh, let me think, okay, now, be here now. No. What if we inhabit this moment? What if we take up residence in our feet right now? What if you bring your consciousness to inhabit the fact that your feet are upon the earth, and that the earth is so much more than it seems? What if you sense the chair that cradles your body and inhabit your back body? What if you sense the pulse of your blood being pumped around by your heart that is just doing that involuntarily because the profound mystery of grace is living you right now. Do you feel a little more present? Right. So sometimes we need to come into the immediacy of our direct experience in order to find a deeper presence that gives us an inner platform to then look at the ways in which we defend against letting the presence of grace, which the signature of which is a lovingness. The great philosopher Plato spoke to this not in spiritual terms, but it is nevertheless spiritual. He spoke about the good, something that is foundational. There's a goodness that's foundational to existence, even with its troubles, even when unexpected twists and turns happen that do not seem like blessings. The blessings of grace brings obvious gifts, great love, community, friendship, good fortune, harmonious conditions. We all like that, huh? Of course. But it also brings the pruning shears sometimes. Blessings of grace brings fertilizer and sometimes a pruning. We like the fertilizer, but sometimes, interestingly, we defend against it because some little someone inside goes, I'm not sure I want to be melted that much. That is the action on our soul from receiving loving presence. Guess what? It melts ego. We want that. We're up for that. We're spiritual people. But who here knows, like, I can let in so much and then I start feeling kind of weird? Or it hits on fears. Oh, am I worthy? Or it hits on memories of the past where the love came mixed together with other things that were tricky, and so we start getting a little concerned. Right? So this is the work, actually, of letting loving presence in, of recognizing we all have defenses against letting loving presence in that relate to our ego, its structure, its patterning, the wounds of the past that have not yet been fully liberated. And so it is practice to let the presence in and also be curious and compassionate, as that loving presence will inevitably hit on debris from the past, where there is confusion or history or misunderstanding. And just like the sunlight can warm and melt, we can let the loving presence touch those places where there have been injury in the past around love. And so those things can melt and dissolve and open, and the love can enter and permeate and penetrate more completely. And sometimes the blessings of grace brings the pruning shears in the form of something that seems like a difficulty or a setback or misfortune. But who here in retrospect looks back now at times in your life where things seemed to be going very wrong, and yet from now you see there were some very profound and important learnings or purification that had to happen in those times in your life that show you that perhaps what originally looked like a setback or something going wrong actually wasn't, was really the blessings of grace trying to purify you of some defense, trying to forge within you a deeper maturity or greater compassion or greater trust or greater patience to nurture more virtue in your soul. And so really, friends, can we take that beautiful attitude that in A Course in Miracles they call the attitude of the happy learner, that essentially is where we say, yes, okay. Because really the only choice we have is whether we're going to say yes or no to life's invitations. And guess what? Saying no is usually not a very elegant response. Life is going to do what it's going to do. So we become more graceful as we learn to open and soften and say, okay, take me, open me, purify me, evolve me, help me receive the blessing in this too, rather than respond like John McEnroe. You cannot be serious. We understand. Sometimes it feels like that. Right. But taking that attitude won't serve us. To harness everything that is happening, both the invitations of our personal life and journey, and also the invitations that are here for us as groups of people, as a society, to evolve beyond fear, to open rather than close, to say yes rather than no. And when we encounter things that are hard to open to and accept, to really enter that pure place in our heart where we say, show me what it is to be graceful here, what needs to be seen, understood, melted, opened. I feel that right now that is the gift those of us who are on a spiritual path and who are willing to hear this message have for the greater whole. These are times where many, many souls are caught in primordial fears that make them very easily to manipulate. So we have not only an invitation that supports our own personal well-being and equanimity and spiritual growth, but the opportunity to be here, be more fully present, be more awake to what it is that's always been in charge. Open, soften, allow, and come to abide in that deeper ground with what is and what really matters. I'm glad you feel that way. I want to read, to close, something that I have adapted in it, but the original comes from A Course in Miracles. It says this: grace is accepting that God alone is. And God's being encompasses all things. No mind holds anything but this. We say God is, and then we cease to speak. For in the recognition, words are meaningless. There are no lips to speak the words, and no mind sufficiently apart to feel that it is now aware of something not itself. You, the soul of God, simply disappear back into the source. And in this, eternity and blessedness become your constant state. So I'd like to offer a song. Recognize all thou art. Help me to see thyself in all. Help me to show mind how to fall. All of thy glories from the sun till earth's great victory is won. I am the love, so after all, I am the love, so hear my call. I hear your call, my children dear. I am your heart, so never fear. I am your mind and body too. I am in every cell of you. I am the earth and sea and sky, and not one soul can I pass by. I am indeed your heart in me. I am thy victory. Radiant flame within my heart, help me to recognize all thou art. Help me to see thyself